PR Connections Radio presents this episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PR Connections radio show at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am your host. And I am thrilled to be with a very good friend of mine today named Norma Tanner. And Norma recently wrote a fantastic book called Standing Tall, which I had the privilege of co-authoring. And I am just super excited about the opportunity to talk about our collaboration in this fantastic book that she wrote. Welcome to the PR Connections radio show, Norma.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. And Norma and I have been friends for many years. We met as members of Toastmasters International. I met actually Norma in 2007. I joined the oldest Toastmaster club in Las Vegas, which is called Windjammers. And Norma had been a member of that club for many years, and I greatly admired her for her dedication to our club and becoming a better speaker and communicator. Boy, that was a long time ago, wasn't it, Norma?
Absolutely. I can't believe it. I went in there just for, figured a couple of weeks would do it. And here I am like 35 years later.
What is it that keeps you involved in Toastmasters, Norma? I mean, I know you've done a lot to contribute to the lives of others, and you've grown a lot as a member of Toastmasters. But after all these years, why do you continue to attend the meetings?
I think it's a camaraderie, but right now, especially at my senior years, it gives me a purpose. Every Wednesday, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I have to get myself up, moving, and to the meeting. And I also have a friend that needs a ride. So consequently, I can't afford to say I'm not going this week because he needs a ride. And that keeps me on schedule. I'm a person that needs structure. And I love having the structure of Toastmasters because we meet at the same time, we start at the same time, and we end at the same time. It's just a wonderful program. I always tell people that this is where you can go to learn how to speak and never be intimidated because they have love. They will encourage you. They do not embarrass you. You learn at your own pace. It's not like as if you're in a college and your professor, you have a paper due every week. No, you work at your own speed. You have a mentor, and it's wonderful. I encourage anyone that is wanting to improve their lifestyle to join Toastmasters because it can aid you in just any part of it. Gives you confidence.
I know there are a lot of people out there, Norma, who are deathly afraid of standing up in front of a crowd and giving presentations. A lot of people join Toastmasters to get over that fear. But for you, you have definitely gotten over that fear. And along with being a member of Toastmasters clubs for many years, you've also done a lot of competing. Maybe you could share with the audience what it's like to compete in contests as a part of your membership in Toastmasters.
I recommend everyone that is a member We have contests twice a year. And to me, just going out for one contest and one speech is equal to giving 10 speeches, because it's amazing. You write your speech out and you think, wow, this really looks good. Well, then you say it over to yourself and you have to correct this and you correct that. You leave this out, you leave that out. You you probably correct that speech probably 10 times before you actually give it. And I think people say there's three different speeches: the one you wanted to give, the one you gave, and the one you should have given. Just uh, and that's about how it goes too. But and everybody has their own style. I like humor. I go out for the contest and humor speeches. I did tall tales a couple of times, and I did international only once. International is a deeper, stronger speech, where humor, you just, we have something funny happening in our life every day that we can talk about. So it's easy to do a humorous speech. But as you go through this speech, it's just amazing how, when you drafted the first speech up, and then when you finish with your finished speech, if you look at that first one, you think, how could I have done that? It's just so completely different because you're constantly refining it and improving it as you go along. And that's why they say that joining a contest is the same thing as giving 10 regular speeches in our manual.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Norma. Having competed in contests myself as well, the preparation, I think that that's where the growth that you're talking about comes from, is the practice, the mentally thinking about what's going to make this a better speech, right? What resonates with people? Because as you know, Norma, when it comes to delivering a speech or making a presentation, it's all about connection. And there are certain ways that you can approach a speech that will enable you to have a greater connection with the audience, which is ultimately what you want to do.
Absolutely. In fact, we have a lot of seminars we go to, and the one seminar that I really enjoyed was this gal from California gave a speech on know your audience. You want to make sure you know your audience when you're preparing your speech. If you're hired to go out and speak to a bunch of contractors, you don't want to go in there and talk about entertainment. You want to know your audience, speak to your audience, make sure that when they leave there, they can carry a message with them.
Yes, and so one of the most underrated aspects, I think, Norma, of being a member of Toastmasters is the relationships that you develop and the just fantastic types of people that you meet in Toastmaster clubs and being involved in things related to our organization. Again, you and I know just a few minutes ago before we came on air, we were talking about the bonds that you develop by being in the environment, and how that really it's sort of like your family, right, Norma? Your Toastmaster club, when you're in it for extended period of time, or even not an extended period of time, is really becomes like, these people become like family, your fellow club members.
In fact, you hit it right on the head. You know, we're all born into a family, and some we like, some we don't. Well, you know what? Your Toastmaster family is just about the same. There's people that you love in Toastmasters and you respect, and then there's others you kind of shy away from. But the whole thing is, it is your family of choice, because the camaraderie. I mean, when you walk into that room in the morning, my meetings have always been at 7:30 in the morning. So I find it to be a great way to start my day. You can welcome the people. Good morning. You're smiling. you just automatically not only pick yourself up and put yourself in a good mood, everybody around you also joins in with the mood that is going on in the room. And it is a family of choice. And just like I said before, every family has the ones you can love, and then you got the ones you can do without. But it is a fun group. The camaraderie is unbelievable. I would have never expected to still be here in Toastmasters, because I joined just to give a better presentation. I've been in and out and retired, and I'm still going to Toastmasters. There's just something about the camaraderie, and like I say, it gives you, right now, it gives me a purpose, because I have my 3 organizations that I go to that are very important for my lifestyle. I have my Toastmasters that is for my mental, and then I have my food program that I go for my physical part of it. And then I also have my water aerobics, which is also physical. So I believe in mentally, physically, and spiritually. Those 3 things, and each one of these organizations that I belong to give me that. And that's what keeps me focused on what I'm going to do for the week. Because as I said, I like structure, so I set goals, and I have my calendar all set up, knowing just what I'm going to be doing on certain days. I'm not very good at just spontaneously decide I'm going to do something. I need to know where I'm at during the week. And Toastmasters helps me organize myself that way, because their agenda, you have your Toastmasters, you have all these 14 different responsibilities that you take on to perform the meeting. And it really makes you aware of what you're doing. It keeps you structured.
Yes, and along with being very structured, Norma, you're also a fantastic storyteller. And that's what led to me connecting with Norma a little over a year ago. I had this belief that she could really write a great book. Just so that you all know, Norma is 92 years old. And she is just as spry as some people I know who are half her age. And I approached Norma and I said, Norma, you're a fantastic storyteller. And we've learned that from a lot of these different speeches that she's presented through the years. And I said, why not write a book about your life? You have a lot of great experiences, a lot of stories to tell. And when I approached her about it, I don't think, Norma, you probably had ever even really thought very much about, or maybe you had, but well, yes, I know you had considered writing a book. Maybe you could tell everyone about how you first considered writing a book, and then how things changed when I approached you and asked you to possibly help you write a book.
Well, for years, I thought about writing a book. My friend Judy and we were going to write a book, but with her busy life and my busy schedule, it was just a thought. And every so often we'd say, when are we going to start that book? Well, then when Guy came along and the timing was perfect, and I said, okay, we can do this. So I had a lot of speeches, like he said, and I have always journaled. And especially when I traveled, I journaled, or even sitting on the airplane. So I was good at taking notes, but to put all of this together and make sense out of it, I needed Guy, my ghostwriter, to organize all of this, put it together so that it flowed. And one thing that he taught me was that we can't kind of mix ideas together. So I'd be talking about my dad, and then all of a sudden I would say, well, he'd love to know my sons. And he said, no, we got to put that on the side. And it was interesting how he organized things. When I would bring something up, he'd say, we're going to put that over here on the side. And he calls it the soup. And then when we get to your sons, then we can pull all this information you've given me and we put it together. And that's why the book flows. We have 12 different chapters in there, and it all goes in rotation. And it's structured to the way that I start out on the farm, I'm born, I move up, I grow up, and everything is done absolutely perfect. And I feel that this would not have happened without Guy, because we all have good intentions. We all want to write a book someday. But do we ever do it? No. In fact, if I didn't have the commitment with the guy coming over every Wednesday, I probably would have given it up. If I or Judy were working on it together, we'd get so far and we'd say, oh, forget it. But with having Guy come over every week, that was a commitment that I made, and I stayed with it. Took us almost a year to do this, but it was a wonderful time. Actually, it was more like almost going to a therapist, because I had to dig back and relive some of these things that you don't even remember what you had when you were a child, and all of this came forward. And I really believe that I'm not the person today that I was when we started this book, simply because I had a good long time to look at myself and my surroundings, and it helped me understand why I did some of the things I did. And that was very interesting to realize that everything has a sequence. And when you're in the middle of something, you don't see it where other people can see it. And by writing this book, I talked with Guy, and then he would put it down, and then I would reread it, and we would agree to what we wanted it to say and how it was presented. And I am so pleased with how he put this book together.
Yes, what an experience, Norma, going on this journey with you. I like how you're talking about the relationship between the ghostwriter, which I essentially was for you. I mean, it was your story. We were fortunate in Norma's situation because she had a lot of these speeches that she delivered in Toastmasters. And essentially, we built chapters around the speeches that she had given. So for me as the ghostwriter, it definitely made it a lot easier because I had a lot of structure because of how structured Norma is and what she does. All I really had to do was build these chapters around certain concepts, and then she had to tell me her story. So let's dive into that a little bit, Norma. You touched on the therapeutic aspect of writing a book. Could you speak to how therapeutically did it work for you, and how was this experience different than what you might have expected it to be?
Okay. It was completely different than what I thought. I was just going to just tell you and put it on a recorder, and you were going to do all the work. And I was going to be free. Well, it turned out it was different, and we analyzed the different chapters, what they meant to me, the subjects as when I was a child. with my mother passing, the emotions that I went through to explain this, and that I had not visited in 50 years to know the experience that we sat at that table that night, and I could hear my mother breathing heavy again. All of this really was an emotional experience. And then, of course, when there was happy times when my kids won trophies and took steak meat, and then I felt the exuberance of writing. So there was so many emotions that I truly believe that it was the same thing as going to a psychologist to look at yourself. And I realized that my life was a lot better than what I thought. Because living on the farm during the World War II, it was rough. But the people in this towns had it a lot worse than we did because they could only eat what the food stamps were offered. Where being on the farm, I look back now, we could eat whatever we wanted whenever we wanted. There was no limit to that. So this is another eye-opener that life was better than what we thought, because we thought we were the poor kids on the farm and everybody living in the city was better than we were. After all of these years of life, I realized I actually had the best of the life. And I feel that, like I said before, I really feel that I'm a different person now than I was back then. Although all through my life I have read self-help books, I've gone to seminars, I've been to workshops, I've been to different things, but this is completely different. I knew what I was looking at now, where before at those workshops I had to have things described to what I was looking at. But this here was, I knew what the emotions were. I knew it was okay to dig into them. And I knew that it was okay to share them, because if anybody could learn or reflect to the experience that I had to what they had, it was important for them to understand it was okay. It's okay to be different, because it's not always you that chooses the situation you're in. So you just have to be strong and walk through these different chapters in your life and come out the other side. Like I said, I believe in the 12-step program, we say that if you work the program, you'll come out where you're happy, joyous, and free. And I'm absolutely at that point, not only because of my 12-step program, but simply by writing this book and looking deep within myself, that I can be completely free right now. I was able to release so much in that book that I had just buried within myself and was carrying it around without even realizing that it was affecting me. I mean, right now, it's just amazing. And so I suggest anybody that has been thinking about writing a book, get yourself somebody that can mentor, somebody that can help you, like I did with Guy, a ghostwriter. They'll keep you on track. They'll keep you on days when you want to quit, you will finish it. And when you finish your book, you'll be proud of what you've done. I can't imagine all the congratulations and the well wishes that I have received from people since they have heard that I wrote a book. At the time, I didn't think a whole lot of it, but now I'm learning that it was a big situation. It was, I can give myself credit for doing this. And it was a big job. And I would have never finished it without Guy. So get yourself, and even if you just write a journal so that your children and your grandchildren can see what you enjoyed, what you feared, what led you to be the person you are today. So many people, they'll look and say, how did they get like that? Well, good or bad, it all comes from deep down. And until you uncover all of that, then you be free of who you really are without all these outside influences dragging you down or picking you up and letting you live in a fantasy land. Okay,
So
guys.
now, Norma, how does it feel to be a published author? We published your book, I guess it's been a month, maybe a little over a month now. Tell me about some of the feedback that you've received from people from Still Standing, A Woman's Journey through 92 decades.
Well, I tell you, I was really surprised. Like I said, I just didn't think a whole lot about it. But I've learned the first one that I heard from was my nephew that lives in Florida. He was only about 10 years old when I met him. And my sister boy. And he saw it on Facebook, and he wrote to me, and he said, or he called me, and he said that it was the most pleasant thing that he read, because it was just as if he was talking to his mother, because so much that I had described was with naturally in the family section with my sister, my siblings. And that made me feel good. It made me warm all over to think that I gave that, because my sister passed away probably about 7 years ago. So I know when he said that, it just made him feel good that he could relate to what I said, to what his mother had told him. And then I have Toastmasters, one in Virginia and one here in Las Vegas, or several in Las Vegas, but they called me and they want me to sign their book. And then to me, that's just unheard of, that I'm going to have a book signing. It's amazing. It's just, this experience has taken me so many different places. But I've had my nieces, my nephews, and my friends. And when I have my friend from Virginia, he said he's going to be here in the end of June. And when he comes, he wants me to sign his book. And I thought, wow, that's just almost unheard of. I would have never imagined that even 2 years ago. Who would have thought of that? That somebody would actually ask me to sign their book. It shows that you have so much more to give than what you realize. And this is what I'm experiencing. People are showing love and respect that I would have never received if I hadn't written this book. So
Yes.
it's a gift.
Yeah, absolutely, Norma. And again, I really appreciated the opportunity to go on to this journey with you. And these types of books have become really popular. Legacy, which we call legacy books. So essentially, what Norma wanted to do with her book more than anything else was to leave this legacy for her children, her grandchildren, and even those that are unborn, so that they will learn things about her that they wouldn't have known, right, Norma? You can only tell so many
Absolutely.
stories, but through this book, they really are able to get a clear overview of her life. And again, as the writer, having known Norma for many years prior to writing this book and then working with her on it, it's always an absolute thrill to participate when someone pours their heart and soul into a project the way that you did, Norma. So as much as you appreciate me for helping you write it, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to write this book, to share your story in our own special way together.
Well, I thank you because without you, I wouldn't have completed it. And you did an excellent job of putting it together so that I can be proud when people read it. So I thank you for your cooperation and your knowledge to be able to edit and get it correct. Simply because a lot of people, even my sons, when I told him what I was doing, they just, well, Ma, I hope you get a good editor. So consequently, I did get a good editor. And Guy's done a wonderful job with that. So I'm very
Yeah, it's
proud
a
of the
partnership.
book.
It's a partnership, Norma. When you engage in a project like this, it really, I mean, it's just fascinating to hear. You have to understand Norma has lived through the Great Depression, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. Just purely just right decades and decades, Iraq War, and she's still here, still standing. And so, for those of you out there who are looking for an inspirational book, there's so much inspiration. Of course, Norma is a devout Christian and she talks a lot about her faith. And that's my last question I wanted to ask you, Norma, is tell me how your faith affected your ability to be able to tell your story the way that you were able to tell it.
I think that my faith has always been strong since I was like 10 years old. After my mother passed away, I found a little church, and that the Moody Bible Institute. They sent Sunday school teachers out and preachers out to our little country town, and that's where I found my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and it helped me at that time understand the passing and that my mother was going to be safe and okay. And it just grew from there, that all things are possible through Jesus Christ. And through the Moody Bible Institute, I was 11 years old when I went on the radio, and there was some of us, and we all sang John 3, 16. And, I always remember that. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. And I would not be able to have survived what I went through, the good times and the bad times, without my faith, because that's where I gained my strength from to go on every day. And every morning when he wakes me up, I give thanks. And when I retire at night, I thank him for the blessings that he gave me that day, because my faith is strong enough, and I know that he will never forsake me. He will always be there. You have good friends. You have friends that come and go. You have family and everything, but they're not there. They can't be with you every day. Where my Lord and Savior is with me every day, every minute. He walks with me and he talks with me and he goes along life's narrow ways. He's right alongside of me, giving me the strength. And he gave me the strength to do this book because I know that he has forgiven forgiven me on anything that I've done in my life. He's helped me to improve my life where I needed to improve it, where I needed to be stronger, where I needed to lighten up. I could not be here today without his love and support.
Norma M. Tanner is the author of Still Standing, A Woman's Journey Through 9 Decades. And again, Norma, it was an absolute pleasure to have been involved in this project. You can purchase Norma's book on Amazon, by the way. Just look up Still Standing, A Woman's Journey Through 9 Decades. You can buy it over there on Amazon. And maybe if you show up, we've got potentially in the works a book signing party. So for those of you out there who might want to get a personally signed book from Norma Tanner, stay tuned for more details about a big signing party that our company is working on. And again, Norma, it's just a pleasure to know you. I greatly appreciate our friendship, and this specific journey that we went on together writing this book was absolutely priceless.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way, and God bless.
Yes, and thank you all for tuning into the PR Connections radio show here at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. You can check out our podcasts on a variety of sites. Many of you are watching us on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, will you please like and subscribe to the PR Connections YouTube site? You can watch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. You can also listen to our audio streams on your favorite audio streaming platforms. Some of the platforms you can listen on are Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So please be on the lookout on your favorite video and audio streaming sites for the PR Connections radio show. And I look forward to connecting with you all soon for another edition of our show. Take care of yourselves and see you soon.
Voting is more than just a right, it's a powerful tool for change. Every vote counts and every voice matters. Voting protects your rights and helps to build a better future. And it's a way to hold our leaders accountable. Voting isn't just about the big elections either. Local elections impact our daily lives. It is important to study the candidates and the issues in order to make an informed decision. Don't sit it out. Your vote is your power. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.